Job figures just out. Looks good news to me, but what do I know? Let's go to our economics man, Liam Halligan, on this morning, and he will tell us what the figures are and how impressed he is by them. Liam.
Morning, Eamon. Morning, Isabel. Well, the job figures, as you say, are pretty good. We've got unemployment going down from 4% to 3.9%. That's a really low number. A record number of vacancies now across the UK economy and record levels of employment. The rub is that even though average wages are going up, you'd expect them to be going up when unemployment's low because employers need to try and get hold of labour, if you like. Those earnings numbers aren't going up nearly as quickly as inflation. So the average earnings number across the UK, which has literally just come out, is 3.8% growth during the year to January 2022. That sounds okay until you consider that inflation in January, annual inflation was 5.5%, and we're expecting inflation to go up a lot more than that in the months to come. So the picture is good if you're in work, and there is a lot of work out there, but wages aren't keeping up with inflation, and that's a trend we're going to see increasingly throughout this year.
What does that mean? I mean, basically, is the paycheck not worth the paper it's written on?
Well, it's better to have a paycheck than not have a paycheck. It's just that the average increase in your paycheck over the last year is lower than the increase in the cost of living. We talk about the cost of living squeeze on GBNews all the time. It's a major part of our sort of domestic politics, if you like. Of course, it's being aggravated by the ghastly war between Russia and Ukraine. We all know that's pushing up fuel bills, petrol and diesel bills, electricity bills. They're going up in April. We knew that anyway. It's also pushing up the price of food because Russia and Ukraine export lots and lots of wheat. So inflation, we're expecting 7-8% annual inflation over the months to come. So that's a 7 or 8% increase in the basket of goods that we all buy. So if your wage is only going up by 3.8% on average, so lots of people's wages are going up by a lot less than that, you're losing money.
So, Liam, we've got the much-anticipated spring statement coming in the next week or so, haven't we, from the Chancellor? Is he going to tackle the problem with petrol prices? Is he going to talk about this national insurance hike, do you think? Because there's huge pressure on him now with all of these additional aggravations, as you say.
There certainly is, Isabel. The spring statement, it's next Wednesday, the 23rd of March. It was meant to be a formality or just, a small statement in the Commons. He announces some new growth forecasts and only nerds like me notice, really. But now it's really taking on huge political significance because, as you say, there's a real head of steam, not just across the Conservative backbenches, but Labour also arguing as a matter of policy that those increases in national insurance for employers and employees that we know are already legislated for, they're meant to be coming in April. The Chancellor's under huge pressure to scrap them because of the spike we've had in the cost of living, as you say. He's also under huge pressure to not just freeze fuel duty, but actually cut VAT on fuel at the forecourt and indeed fuel on household energy bills. Again, that's something we've been campaigning for here on GB News, particularly during my On the Money show. You could say that the Chancellor has got some fiscal room for manoeuvre because prices are going up a lot higher than we thought. He's getting a lot more VAT in. And also a lot of those big oil companies that sell petrol to the garages where we buy petrol, fill our cars and vans, they're making out like bandits, if you like. They deny the use of that term. It's just a turn of phrase. But they're making a lot of extra profit. So Labour are calling for a windfall tax on the big oil companies, and quite a lot of Conservatives are too. So this was meant to be a formality, this spring statement. It's taking on the air of a major political event. It's next Wednesday, and we'll be covering it on GB News, of course.
Liam, really appreciate it. Isabel, I don't know about you, but come 1 o'clock today, 1 o'clock every day, whether I'm near the radio or television,
watching
everything
On the
stops.
Money.
It just stops. I just think there's nothing else. See that man there? Right,
He's
on the
very
money.
good.
He is on the money.
He is.
Liam Halligan, or Ben Halligan, as my wife calls him. 1 o'clock today. We'll never forget you, Ben. Never forget you. 1 o'clock, catch him on the money.
Only you could get away with that. So cheeky.